Don't do that. Don't be that guy doing that. We don't need to go that far. So if you've seen the title today, we are going to be doing a little bit of cleanup. We're just going to go through some tips and tricks on how to keep your electronics clean and dust free. So let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today, as the title says, we're going to be getting into a little bit of housekeeping, a little bit of cleaning, and we have a few electronics around the house that it's time to get those things cleaned up and get a little bit deeper into the cleaning that we're going to do. So let's get right into what we're going to be using to clean these items. So here's a list of things that are going to be used to clean these items that we're going to use today in this video. All right, now we've seen the things that we can possibly use to clean. We're gonna take a look at the devices that we're gonna clean today. All right, everybody has dust in their house, in their media room. Dust is everywhere. We can't stop it all, believe it or not. So we're just gonna go over some things that really quickly keep our devices clean. So this remote is an AVR remote, and it's been upstairs in the bedroom, and you know, there's some dust that gets around. So I dust it off every now and then. And that's pretty much all you have to do. So let's take a look at this remote right here. What I would do for this remote right here, if I needed to clean it or keep it clean, Swiffer your electronics maybe once a week. Once the dust starts to build up, it gets a little harder to clean. So let's take a look at what we would do for a remote, simple remote. So all you're gonna do is, you know, it may not look like it's dusty that day, but take it and go ahead and dust it off. So a lot of times the remotes will have little intricate buttons in there, and if you let it go too far and you can't seem to get that remote clean, what you would want to do is something a little bit more aggressive. So we would take something like this soft bristle brush. We would take an actual brush here, and we would take this and actually in between the buttons, regular paintbrush, we're going to take and we're going to dust in between these buttons here. Moving on to a remote that's a little bit even tougher to clean. You may need some kind of solvent to get in there and wipe that remote down. So we don't want to, like we saw in the beginning, we don't want to start dousing things in liquid. So we want to use things that we can clean the remote and keep the moisture out of it. All right, what I would recommend if you can't get some grime out of those hard to reach places on your remote, you use something like this little cleaning Q-tip right here. What I'm gonna use with that Q-tip is this right here, Electro Wash. So this is pretty good for cleaning your electronics and it doesn't harm the plastics. So let's give this a little spray on that Q-tip, see if we can clean a little bit better that remote, all right? So we don't wanna spray it directly on the remote, we wanna spray it on the Q-tip. There we go. So again, if you got to get a little deeper, use these little Q-tips, or maybe your regular Q-tip can get in between all of these things right here. These Q-tips right here are lint free. And this is the reason why we're using this type of Q-tip right here. It's lint free. You don't want to get a regular Q-tip. Sometimes it can leave all those little fibers around. That's something that we really don't want. So let's invest yourself in these Q-tips right here. That's actually pretty dirty. All right, let's move. All right, next up in the bathtub is speakers. So let's see what we need to do to clean the speakers here. And again, every day cleaning is, or every week cleaning is something you're gonna see, especially on black speakers. Speakers that have a black coating, and most do. So you're gonna really see it, and you need to go ahead and attack it once you see that that dust start to build up on there. Again, first line of defense, the Swiffer. The Swiffer is gonna be your first line of defense for any kind of dust on anything. So anything you want to, before you put anything wet on anything, you need to make sure it is dust free. All right, so make sure you dust your speakers off. And I know we have a cloth grill right here. We have a cloth grill right here. And I don't recommend using the Swiffer because the fibers from the Swiffer will get onto and into this cover right here. So we don't want to use a Swiffer on the fabric covers on our speaker grills right here. So we want to make sure we take that off before we clean that speaker grill. And we will clean it, but we won't use the Swiffer to do that. All right. So we clean the outside, and we're going to take our speaker cover off and set it aside. Now we can go back to our Swiffer and clean what we see here underneath the fabric cover. Again, making sure not to dimple or press in any of your tweeter or your woofer center cones. Sometimes they can be really soft and you don't want to press those in. So again, get this on the outside. All right. And for the most part, that's all you need to do to your speakers. Speaker grills don't get dusty that often, but when they do, we're going to take a look at how I would clean. If you have a dark colored grill, you want to use a dark color rag. This right here is a regular terry cloth rag, but I also right here have a black microfiber rag. So this will lessen the odds that you get any fibers caught in your speaker grill. So that is, again, something that you don't want because it will be very visible and it's going to be pretty hard to get out. So always use a dark color towel. We wipe our speaker cloth grill out, and in the middle where you don't have any support, you want to just kind of brush very, very lightly over top. Glaze over top of it and get any dust or any kind of thing you have on there off. So now you have a speaker grill that's clean also. All right, moving on to the next thing that we have to clean today. Okay, we have a laptop heater, okay? And this method right here is the same method you're gonna use to clean your TVs. So TVs and monitors are gonna be the same. So really simple, what we're gonna do this time, we're gonna make sure we use the microfiber cloth on this right here. So we definitely wanna use a microfiber cloth because it is streak free. It won't leave any streaks on the screen, so it's better for that. So what we're gonna do is use the microfiber, and we're gonna use a screen cleaner right here. We're just gonna take and apply the screen cleaner directly to the cloth. Again, directly to the cloth. Do not spray your electronics with your cleaner. Take and wipe the screen, making sure, especially with your HD TVs, that you do not press into the screen. Be really gentle. This microfiber cloth will pick up all the dirt and everything that's stuck on your screen without you pressing. You don't want to press on your TV screen. You can damage it, of course. Same thing with your keys. You can just kind of glaze over top of them. You don't have to get really aggressive. Same solvent will work here. What we have right here is some spray in a can, air in a can. So we can use air spray sometimes, and I'm gonna show you why I like air spray for one, but why I don't like it in other cases. So let's take a look. The main reason I don't recommend the spray in a can sometimes is because every now and then it can put out a puff of moisture. Water will come out of this thing. If you hold this trigger too long, the water will come out. It's just a little spritz of water. Depending on what you're trying to clean, it might be a bad thing. So this is in cases where you're not really worried about a lot of any moisture hitting it. So use this sparingly. There's another way, another device that we can use that we don't have to get into this air. So we're gonna spray into a cloth or something and get that air going. Let's take this off here. All right, so in the keys, you see that? Sometimes you can get a little puff of moisture right there. That's not gonna hurt my keyboard. See that little puff of moisture? It's not good for all devices. So that, again, this little bit of moisture is not gonna hurt my keyboard right here, but I'm gonna go ahead and wipe it off. The main reason I don't recommend canned air. So if you do use canned air and you get the little puffs of moisture come out, you wanna make sure that you allow your device to dry completely. When you think it's dry, let it dry some more, okay? So again, be careful with the canned air around your electronics and leaving moisture around and then plugging them up. You could cause some damage to your electronics. All right, Okay, our last item to clean is an AVR. This AVR has been in the rack upstairs in the bedroom for some time, and I always use my first line of defense on this thing, which is the Swiffer Duster. Swiffer Duster, keep it kind of dust free as you can possibly get it. But you will notice over time that the dust is kind of getting all over the place. You can get underneath this thing, try to get it as best you can. But take a look at what happens when you don't take care of the back of the unit. Yeah, this is the back of the unit. And it is dusty. All right. So what we're going to do today is we're going to tackle the back of this thing because it never sees the light of day as far as the Swiffer goes. So let's hit it today. Dust all over the place. And again, this Swiffer Duster right here has a little fibers that can kind of get caught in these little nooks and crannies right here. So I don't want to use the Swiffer on this part of this thing right here. What I'm going to use today is going to be an air duster. This is an air duster right here. This air duster is going to blow out some high volume. It's going to blow out high volume air, and it can blow some of this dust off that we need to get out of here without us leaving the fibers with the Swiffer in between here. So what we're going to do is turn this thing on and blow some of this dust. Do you see dust like I see dust? I'm going to show that once again. Here we're going to blow some dust off of this thing, and look, tell me if you see dust coming from other places. There's dust coming all out here. So again, this receiver has been in the bedroom rack for years, okay? So again, you can Swiffer the top of these things off all the time, but again, sometimes the dust gets into the inside, okay? Sometimes the dust gets into the inside, and you really don't have to get in the inside to do this, but if it's been years and years and years, you may have a little bit of dust in the inside that you may have to tackle. So that's what we're gonna do here. This has been around for a long time, so I'm gonna tackle some of the dust that's in the inside to give this thing even further longevity. All right, so let's open it up and see what kind of dust is in it. All right, note, if you are still under manufacturer's warranty, do not open this unit. It may void your warranty. So again, if you're under warranty on your merchandise, you don't have to open this thing. I'm pretty sure the dust that gets inside is not going to be detrimental to your unit working within your warranty. So again, this has been years. This is a Denon 3312, which I think is a 2012 model. May have purchased in 2015, I think, maybe. So again, it has some age on it, and we're not worried about any warranty issues. All right, so let's take the top off of this thing and see what we see. All right, you see it just like I see it. Oh boy, it's dust. There's a lot of dust.
Jesus Christ.
And this is the dust that you cannot beat. The dust is going to get into your units over time, over the years, no matter what you do, as long as you're taking your Swiffer and Swiffer in the outside. There's no way to stop it. So again, if you want to get a little bit deeper into the cleaning, you have to take the top off, and again, make sure you're outside of the warranty so you won't void the warranty. So all right, so let's take a look at what we have right here and what we can do. So first thing we want to make sure we do, we can use a vacuum. If we had a small vacuum, you can get in here and try to vacuum some of these larger areas of dust right here, and it is a lot of dust right here. So so let's actually let's take our blower and blow the crap out of this thing. So what I'm gonna do is take this outside, and then I'm gonna blow it off, because I don't want to do this in here, so it's gonna be a cloud of dust. So I'm gonna take this outside, and with the blower, blow as much of this dust out of here as I can. So I'll be right back after we take it outside. All right, took it outside, blew it off. Massive difference. Like I say, a lot of dust came out of this thing. So we still have some that the air just doesn't take off. So what we want to do, if we're inside here, we really want to clean this off some. We want to take our soft bristle brush, and we can brush this circuit board right here. If you can see, I'm getting some dust out of that. So again, we have all these little components right here, and we don't want to leave anything behind, and we don't want to damage anything. So we can take this little soft bristle brush, and we can get in here, and we can clean these circuit boards off. The bristle brush is soft enough that it won't disconnect or break any connections in the inside on the circuit board or anything you have around. So make sure it's pretty soft. All right, so again, we can dust this off here. We can also use this in conjunction with our blower. So let's turn the blower down a little bit. We don't need as much air, so we're gonna turn this blower to a lower setting, and we're just gonna blow it off. Now, as far as the inside goes, that's pretty much all you need to do. You don't really need to go any further and start putting anything wet in the inside. As you can see, everything has been surviving this long, so I don't think you need to go in there and do that. So right here on our AVR, we've pretty much done what we could do in the inside, but on the outside, on the back side, we can still clean this up a little bit. So we can take our brush and we can again get in between here, in between all these little connectors. And again, we're using our soft brush so we don't leave any residue behind. And make sure you clean the ports in the back that aren't being used, because again, these are the most susceptible to getting dust inside the connection that, you know, can mess it up once you try to plug something in it in the future. There are places that sell plugs that you can plug these up, so again, the dust won't hurt. So again, I recommend getting a plug, especially for these HDMIs, so you won't get dust in them and you can use them later. Okay, we're all cleaned up here. Again, that's a little bit further than you need to go most days. Again, always come through with the Swiffer, kind of put it off from having to do something that's a little bit deeper like we did here today. So tell me, when's the last time you looked in your AV cabinet and looked at the back of your devices? It's been a while, right? It's been a while, I know. So I know you've been swiffering around it or whatever, but one day you're gonna have to get in there, and one day you're gonna have to take those devices out, and you're gonna see all of that. It's on the back side of it. Don't be afraid. There are definitely ways to keep your unit clean or get your unit back to looking like it once was. All right, that's it for now. We're all cleaned up for now. Hey, I want to thank you again for sticking around and watching another video from Genius Home Theater. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you on the next one. Till next time.